Dynamics Con. We're very excited to introduce our topic to you and want to thank the Dynamics community and the sponsors for allowing us to present today. We know it is a full day of sessions with lots of options of classes to attend, so thank you for choosing to participate in our discussion. We look forward to your questions. Today our session will cover reporting options for the move from GP to Business Central. In the next 40 minutes, we're going to explore the reporting options available in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and address the fear of the unknown in transitioning to Business Central from Great Plains. We want to show you the roadmap of how to get there and how this relates to what you may currently be doing in your GP environment. We will explore the best way to get your data to do analysis and review and how to do various types of reporting with efficiency and ease. Our presenters today are myself, Annette Brown, and my collaborator, Bill Meeks. Again, welcome. As I mentioned, my name is Annette Brown. I wanted to give you a little information about myself and my experience so you would know where I might be coming from when presenting this information. I have an accounting degree from Michigan State University and specialize in financial reporting. Throughout my career, I have always loved the automation side of accounting. Long ago, I decided helping you get the numbers and automating your processes was way cooler than being responsible for them. So I became a consultant with a focus on education and automation. I've been helping clients use technology and implement new ERPs to make their month-end processes more efficient for over 20 years as a consultant, 18 of those with Columbus. I have done everything from charter account design and report building to budgeting and forecasting. We wanted to put this presentation together because all the questions we had when looking at and learning Business Central. We figured if we had questions, others would too. I would like now to introduce you to Bill Meeks, my co-presenter. Together we created this presentation that will hopefully answer the questions you might have when considering moving to Business Central. If we didn't address a specific question you may have, please feel free to ask during our Q&A at the end, or just type your questions in on the chat box and we'll do our best to answer or get you an answer.
Hello everyone, my name is Bill Meeks. I'm a senior SMB consultant at Columbus. I have an accounting degree from the University of Kentucky. I have a diverse background that combines accounting, software consulting, and education. I have 15 plus years of experience in technology, as well as implementation and support for ERP and integrated applications with primary focus on business analysis, along with functional and technical software implementation and support, both as a consultant and on-site ERP administrator, analyst, or specialist. I enjoy helping others solve business challenges with the use of technology.
Our agenda today consists of chart of account setup and design, and the reporting options available in the financial, operational, and analytical realms. All good reporting starts with a well-designed chart of accounts. When designing the chart of accounts in Business Central, there are some fundamental differences to how you did that in GP. Some of the biggest differences are the use of main account, dimensions, account categories, and subcategories. We're going to cover those differences so you can see basic setups and how the setup is used in reporting through BC. Business Central's dimensional accounting makes analyzing your records simpler. Dimensions let you define analysis categories and then tag your data so you can quickly review. Dimensions can, for example, indicate the project or department an entry came from and do not need to be associated to every main account. Great Plains uses segments added to main accounts to create a full account code, which then allows you to analyze data. GP has two other options to tag certain accounts with additional transactional dimension IDs called analytical accounting, otherwise referred to as AA, and multidimensional analysis, or MDA. AA and MDA most similarly relate to the functionality of dimensions in BC, since these do not need to be associated to every main account in the chart of accounts. When setting up the chart of accounts in GP, you define segments in the account format screen. Every segment is linked to every account to create a full account code. Even if an account doesn't need to separate the balances for that segment, a default code is used as a placeholder to fill in the segment. What you see when the account is set up is a full account code with the number of segments and digits in each segment as defined in the account format screen. Next, you assign an account category to group like accounts together, which can optionally be used to report balances in reports. Account category is a mandatory field on the account card. However, it's not widely used in GP other than in Advanced Financials or Management Reporter. In BC, all things start with just a main account. You have 6 account categories in which all accounts are grouped: assets, liabilities, equity, income, cost of goods sold, and expense. Once the accounts are grouped in account categories, you then can create custom subcategories that can be used to group accounts into the ways you would like to see them in financial reports like balance sheets and income statements. To do that, you would go to the Finance menu, then the GL account categories, and then the GL account categories. That pulls up a list of account categories and subcategories. That list can be customized where needed. These subcategories will then be used to create account schedules for reporting. So now let's talk about dimensions. A dimension is the term used in Business Central to define an analysis category. Dimensions are used to group or categorize data for the purposes of analysis. For example, instead of setting up a separate general ledger account for each department and project, you can use dimensions as a basis for analysis and avoid having to create a complicated chart of accounts. Dimensions consist of dimension values. A dimension value is a subcategory or a tag attached to the data to conduct meaningful analysis. A dimension can consist of any amount of dimension values. Here we see the basic structure of dimensions and dimension values. So let's look at the setup in BC. Here we see an example of how to set up a dimension called department. You can use this dimension when you post sales documents. This will then let you use business intelligence tools to see which department sold which items. The more dimensions we use, the more detailed reports you can base your business decisions on. For example, a single sales entry can include information from multiple dimensions such as the account the item sale was posted to, where the item was sold, who sold it, or the kind of customer who bought it. Now that we have discussed how to set up your chart of accounts for analyzing data, we're going to discuss the various reporting options within BC. We have categorized them into 3 sections: financial reporting, operational reporting, and analytical reporting. The first set of reports we will cover are the financial reports. There are 2 types we'd like to discuss: account schedules, which are included as part of the Business Central core functionality, and options for third-party reports. First, we'll review account schedules. These reports would parallel the functionality of Advanced Financials in GP. They do share similar characteristics to Management Reporter. However, account schedules don't have the complete functionality or flexibility of Management Reporter. We want to show you what is available and discuss some of the differences to what you might be getting currently from your financials. Shown here is a list of available account schedules. There are 4 default system-generated account schedules where the name starts with M. They are the basis of the standard financial report and get installed with Business Central. System-generated account schedules are automatically updated when opened if subcategories are updated in the chart of accounts. These default reports may not suit the needs of your business. However, you can create your own financial reports by copying an existing account schedule or starting one from scratch. The preview, the financial reports that the account schedule defines, you would choose Process Overview and then Process Print. You would use account schedules to get insight into the financial data stored in your chart of accounts. Account schedules analyze figures in GL accounts and compare general ledger entries with general ledger budget entries. Going back to the account schedule list, account schedules are used to arrange accounts listed in the chart of accounts in ways suited for presentation of information about those accounts. You can set up various layouts to define the information that you want to extract from the chart of accounts. If you're using Management Reporter, it would be similar to setting up new row definitions. Now we'll select the Edit List option to review the account schedule setup. One of the main functions of account schedules is to provide a place for calculations that cannot be made directly in the chart of accounts, such as creating subtotals for groups of accounts, which can be included in new totals and then be used in other totals. Users can also use account schedules to calculate profit margins on dimensions such as departments or customer groups. By changing the column layout, general ledger entries and general ledger budget entries can be filtered, for example, by net change or debit amount. Now we'll take a look at some third-party options for reporting. Many users of Dynamics GP currently use Management Reporter to create financial statements. For comparison purposes, in terms of reporting available with core functionality, Management Reporter is a financial report writer that is not part of the core functionality of GP. It is a separate application currently available for use with GP at no additional cost. While it is not created by an ISV, it is a separate application that allows you to report on general ledger data to create any report that originates with GL account balances. Management Reporter is not available for use with BC, so we wanted to introduce an example of at least one other financial report writer that would provide similar end results for financial reports. There are many different third-party report writers that work with Business Central. Your reporting needs will determine which is best suited. Today we are showing Jet Reports, a product of Insight Software. Using Jet Reports does not limit you to using only information from the general ledger. Any module can be accessed from this Excel-based tool. With Jet Reports, there are no hard coding or programming skills required, so your team can explore data and create modified reports on their own. Quickly and easily generate timely, accurate financial reports in the format that works for you, using the same fields and calculations you're used to right inside Excel. Here we have highlighted a small sample of some of the free reports that are available from Jet Reports so you can see what they look like. This first report is a display of net change of general ledger accounts by Global Dimension 1 within a given date. Next is a cash flow statement for a company, which includes a couple of graphs. It can be segmented by years, quarters, or months. This is an income statement that compares a given period to the same period last year. Here we have another income statement with filters by dimension. It includes trends, monthly, quarterly, and year-to-date comparisons. This income statement shows a budget and a variance overview by year. This would be an example of a report that does not originate with GL account balances. Here we have sales and profit information on the top customers for a day range. Slicers can be used to drill down into specific customer segments. Again, this is an example of a non-GL report available. Details of all open sales order lines within a given shipment date range. Slicers are available to filter a list based on salesperson and/or location. There's also a display of summary totals. Next, we will review operational reporting. Reports that aid in your everyday activity or get printed with business processes. We will cover query tools and do a comparison between SmartList and PopDoc. Next, we'll look at the out-of-the-box reports that come with Business Central. We'll also review options to use Excel in various reports, editing, and query options. SmartList in GP provides users with easy access to list type data. Here we'll choose the chart of accounts list, where you can add additional columns or add search criteria to add filters to the data returned. PopDoc is the Business Central equivalent of SmartList in GP. PopDoc is a third-party self-service tool from E1 Solutions that allows you to access your cloud-based application data. Log into one single app and all your data is there. PopDoc reports are always based on live data. It's real-time reporting that helps everyone do their job better. PopDoc provides data-driven action plans perfect for the small business reporting needs of the everyday employee. It also serves up actionable data, allowing you to complete tasks without logging into the native applications. There is a built-in widget with a multi-list dropdown that gets added when you add the extension within BC. This is how most end users will utilize the functionality of PopDoc. Let's look at PopDoc as an extension widget inside BC. If you're used to using SmartList in GP, then PopDoc will give you the same type of functionality and so much more. PopDoc provides a fast, simple interface for end users to get at the data they need to do their daily job. They like to call it actionable data. PopDoc can pull in external data, may eliminate some unnecessary integrations, and get all the data in one report and provides dimensional reporting. The ability to add additional columns, group, filter, and export the data to Excel. Or right-click on the line items to see the actions available for this line item. Examples of that might be jumping to another screen in BC, as you see here, or opening another form from a different application altogether, like help desk tickets on a customer or shipping information on an order.
Now let's look at the operational reports that come within each ERP application. As a reminder, please use the chat function in your viewer and submit questions. We will try to address those as we complete this presentation. So the operational reports are reports that come out of the box with these applications. First, GP. Most of us know GP Report Writer, or have at least heard of it. Tools, customized, Report Writer gets you there with the appropriate permissions. Any of the original GP canned reports can be modified. Simply select the original report to modify and insert, then open and begin modifying. Modifying automatically creates a copy of the report in the report dictionary. GP Report Writer does take some skill and learning to be comfortable using it. Because of that, modifications are typically done by a more technically savvy user within your organization or by your partner consultants. Once modifications are complete, GP security settings are used to manage the individual user access to the original report or the newly modified report version. So, is there something similar in Business Central? Yes, there is. Any report that is viewed, printed, or saved from Dynamics 365 Business Central client must have a report layout. Report layouts control the content and format of a report. The list of report layouts can be found by searching for report layout within Business Central. Similar to GP, Business Central does allow changes and modifications to report layouts. This is just a sample of the list of report layouts that can be found in Business Central. As you can see, there are two types of report layouts. Layouts using Report Definition Language, or RDL, and Word layouts. In Business Central, the term report also covers externally facing documents, such as sales invoices and quotes that you send to customers as PDF files. Like GP, you can modify or add reports in BC. As mentioned, some reports are Word layouts, similar to the Word templates in GP. The visual layout determines the content and format of a report when it is viewed and printed. You build the layout of a report by arranging data items and columns and specifying the general format, such as text and font and size. The modification of any Business Central report layout requires making a copy of the original report layout and exporting the layout copy and making modifications. The modifications are made either in SQL Report Builder for the RDA layout formats or Microsoft Word for the Word format layouts. Once modification is complete, the layout is then imported back to Business Central. A report can be set up with multiple report layouts, which you can switch among as desired. You can use one of the built-in report layouts, or you can create custom report layouts and assign them to your reports as needed. Now let's take a quick look at some additional Microsoft Excel reporting options available within Business Central. Microsoft Excel is extremely popular and has enjoyed a long-standing presence in the business world. Consequently, the spreadsheet tool has a large and loyal following. If you've been working with Excel for many years, you'll be happy to know that Microsoft Dynamics offers a variety of ways to use it in combination with Business Central. Here we see an example of the Excel options flow within a Business Central area page that allow you to work with BC data in Excel. Let's more closely explore the different options for using Excel with Business Central. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central users can connect Excel into Business Central for flexible, familiar data editing and reporting. With pages that display a list of records in rows and columns, like a list of items, sales orders, or invoices, you can also view the records using Microsoft Excel. You just open the page that you want, and depending on the page, you have two options for viewing in Excel. You can either select the Open in Excel action or the Edit in Excel action on the page. The Open in Excel option is just a fast way to get information out of Business Central. So you can do things like manipulate, analyze, and print the data, or just share it with other people. It is a one-way feature that sends data from the list page open in BC to a worksheet in Excel open on your PC. You can make changes to the records in Excel, but you can't publish the changes back to Business Central. With this action, Excel respects any filters or groupings on the page that limit the records shown. The Excel workbook will reflect your customized view, and the data is ranged and will contain the same rows and columns that appear on the page in Business Central. Again, this option is available from any BC journal, list, or worksheet. The Edit in Excel option is a two-way feature, meaning this feature can publish or send changes made in Excel back to Business Central. This feature is great for making mass updates to data or analyzing transactional data. You must use a version of Excel for Windows, and it will automatically install the Excel add-in, which can read and update your Business Central database. You just need to provide your sign-in information. Excel will not keep your customized views. It will keep all data and all rows that are available to you in the table based on your permissions. This could mean that your worksheet could contain a lot of data, but you can apply filters and make other changes in Excel, or by using the add-in, just don't change the data structure. For example, don't change the names of the columns. When you are done, you can publish the data back to Business Central. You need to refresh the page to see your changes. Refresh Excel data is also an option to refresh Excel data in Business Central. The Excel file created by using the Edit in Excel feature can also be saved with its link to the data source in BC. This allows for data refresh at any point in time. Other Excel options that work seamlessly with Business Central include budgeting in Excel. Business Central budget templates can be exported to Excel. Budgets can then be created in Excel, as you may already normally do. The completed budgeting in Excel can then be imported back into Business Central. These steps should sound very familiar to you, all you GP users out there. Another Excel option is the copy-paste from BC to Excel and back. Business Central, mostly in journal line entry pages, allows you to use the standard copy-paste feature that most everyone knows from Excel to the grid lines in the BC journal entry page. You can also use web services to create a query in BC. Web services are a lightweight, industry-standard way to make application functionality and data available to various external systems and users. When Business Central objects are published as web services, they're immediately available on the network. Excel can then see this data for queries or other data investigation or manipulation. And lastly, You can query BC data within Excel using Get Data from OData Feed. Business Central provides built-in web service objects, while also allowing you to create custom ones. In the Web Services list, find the object for the query and copy the OData v4 URL from the list. Then paste that URL in Excel when prompted after selecting OData Feed as the source to get data. Once the data is loaded, all Excel functionality is available. The saved spreadsheet can then be refreshed anytime by simply right-clicking and choosing Refresh. For analytical report creation, I want to quickly show you Power BI. In terms of GP versus Business Central, Power BI can actually be used now with either application. Microsoft Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. Power BI can be simple and fast, capable of creating quick insights from an Excel workbook or a local database, including Business Central data and current or historical GP data. Power BI consists of three main elements: Power BI Desktop, the Power BI Service, and Power BI Mobile, which work together to let you create, interact with, share, and consume your data the way you want. Power BI Desktop is a desktop application used to connect to data, bring the data into a data model, and build visualizations. Reports and dashboards can also be created. This is the primary Power BI application where most of the reporting work is performed. There is an online software as a service, or SaaS, called the Power BI Service. Visualizations, reports, and dashboards are saved or published to the Power BI Service to allow collaboration and sharing. Reports, etc., need to be published to the service in order to be viewed in applications such as Business Central. Lastly, there are the mobile Power BI apps that are available on any device with native mobile BI apps for Windows, iOS, and Android. All published reports and dashboards are available in the mobile app based on security permissions. Power BI enables the creation of reports and dashboards that bring together multiple data sources: Business Central, GP, SQL Server, or Azure Data Lake, to name a few, to consume that data in one place. So the common flow of activity would be: bring data into Power BI Desktop and create a report, publish to the Power BI Service where you can create new visualizations or build dashboards, share those dashboards with others, especially people who are on the go, view and interact with shared dashboards and reports in the Power BI mobile apps. You can also display related published Power BI reports and dashboards within Business Central. You merely enable the Power BI report option in Business Central area pages. After enabling the Power BI widget in Business Central, selecting the down arrow for the Power BI Reports widget provides options to select reports, move between enabled Power BI reports in the widget, as well as other options. Here we see a list of all Power BI reports and dashboards that are published and the user has permission to view. Now here you can see an example of the look of the Sales Customers area page displaying the Power BI Reports widget. Published Power BI reports can be displayed within the Business Central application in many different area pages. The user does need to have a Power BI Pro license and be the same as the one logged into BC in order to view the published reports from the Power BI online service to Business Central. Pre-configured reports and dashboards, like the Business Central ones highlighted here, can also be downloaded from the Microsoft Power BI app site to be used in Business Central with your data connection.
Congratulations, you made it to the end. We want to thank you for joining us today, and we want to again thank the DynamicsCon and the DynamicsCon community for inviting us to speak. Hopefully, we have shown you enough of the pieces and the what and the where of reporting in Business Central to help you have a better understanding of what is available to be most efficient, get the most insight from your data, and eliminate any fear of the unknown. Hi, everyone. Well, thanks for sticking with us through our presentation. We did have a couple questions that we kind of wanted to address. We saw that they came through the chat, and one of them was dealing with reporting criteria and some of the things with JET reports. As far as the JET reports goes, excuse me, yeah, you can modify them. The free reports can be modified, and it's just Excel based. So your familiarity with using Excel functionality will determine how easy that is. And then as far as the reporting criteria, when you're reporting, I think the question was being able to do things with dimensions and being able to add different dimensions and be able to see that by month. I don't know that you would necessarily use that with the account schedules. You may have to use the analysis views for that. If you're thinking of things that you would normally do with like a management report or report, you may end up having to do that probably with a JET report would be my guess. But there may be some analysis views that you could actually use to do some of that functionality as well. Did you have any thoughts on that, Bill?
Yeah, analysis views is what I was thinking too. And there are no out of the box ones for that, but you can build those yourself and select which dimensions you want to use. And there's a few different criteria that you can enter in there, like dates, whether it's by month or by quarter or by year. So I think that would be the way to go for sure.
Hopefully that answered your question. The other thing that we get asked, that we've been asked previously when we've done this presentation, was it kind of looked like they had talked about third parties and the need to essentially have third parties be able to do the same kind of functionality that you were doing in GP. And I guess we'd like to kind of address that in a way to say, well, you do have analysis views, you have master record views, which would be similar to like smart lists. You have account schedules that would be similar to the advanced financials, and maybe doing a little bit of management reporter. But when you think about how GP started, it did start with a lot of third parties that got kind of incorporated. So even management reporter is technically a third party, even though it's coming from Microsoft. So it is a different application, I guess, is probably a better way of saying that, rather than a third party, that they're just at different applications that get pulled in. So even SmartList started as something that got incorporated. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, along those lines, I know that the biggest question seems to be about, the additional cost for some of these applications. And right now there are those things. But like Annette said, with some of the smart list builder, those types of things also incurred an additional cost. And some of those things have changed through the years as GP and some of the E1 products, et cetera, have kind of matured. And so we don't know that will happen with BC and some of these applications, but that would be the hope, so that maybe some of that cost could go down as we move forward. But certainly, if you think about it in terms of what you've had so far with GP, I think it's very similar in that you've had to have some additional applications to get some of the things you need.
Yeah. The in terms of PopDoc, I mean, just the functionality they've added that is a third party. I mean, it goes beyond so much more than just doing a straight smart list and pulling data right out of BC. The ability to be able to connect that application to multiple different data sources and then combine that data, is really huge in being able to just get at the data and analyze it the way that you need. And then you can also use that data in Power BI reports as well. So just being able to kind of combine all that information and being able to just do the reporting that you're looking at being able to do is really kind of exciting. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any other questions. I know one of the other things that we touched on a little bit was, and a lot of people have been excited about when we've done this is the ability to do a lot of things just natively out of the box with BC and Excel, and being able to, open lists in Excel, but also edit those things in Excel. Gives you the ability to do some data changes, especially in a mass change scenario. Say if you have a large customer list, you can edit that in Excel, make some changes, publish that back to BC, and now, some common change that you made to all of your customers can be done in a matter of minutes. So those types of things that you have the ability to do in terms of maybe not always just specifically reporting, but some of those tools that you can do with your data with BC, I think is something that if you're moving from GP or thinking about that, could be exciting for you.
I'm not sure what you mean, Mark, when you say what is your main advice when a company's just getting started, in terms of reporting, or like what type of advice are looking for? I don't know if you can expand on that a little bit more. As far as what I'm kind of seeing, those that are coming from GP in terms of a reporting, that are used to getting, a huge stack of financial statements, and they're using Management Reporter to do that, you are probably going to find that the account schedules aren't going to give you what you need, that you are going to need to do some sort of third party, whether that be, there's a whole host of them, Jet Reports, there's FYI Soft, there's Active Reporter, there's a whole host of them, and just determining what you think fits your organization the best, and obviously your partner can help you kind of do some analysis on some of those. Some of the tools that I've seen, there's one I'm thinking particularly that, it works very, very similar to the way FRX or Management Reporter had worked in the past. And so if you're used to getting that kind of functionality, there are tools out there that will allow you to do that kind of thing. I'm not sure if that answered your question, Mark. Did you have something particular, and other than the reporting aspect for financials, and in terms of getting started? Our biggest thing when we were looking at this and we were learning BC for ourselves was, most people like to be able to do the comparison. That's why we kind of put this on the GP track, even though, it's really kind of talking about BC. Was, if you're thinking about that, there's always questions as to, well, how do I get the same kind of thing that I'm used to getting out of my current environment? How do I get that out of GP or out of BC? So that's kind of how we wanted to kind of focus this presentation in giving people the ability to figure out, well, this is how you did it over here, and this is how you do it over here, so that you could then start comparing apples and oranges, and apples and apples, hopefully, right? And be able to see where there's oranges, and how do I fill that gap, and what do I do with that, and what are my options to be able to do that? So
yeah. And one of the things that Annette talked about too was the huge difference between your chart of accounts in GP versus your chart of accounts in BC. And, if you're thinking about moving, that also gives you the opportunity, as you're evaluating some of these different options for reporting, to look at how you've got your chart of accounts structured currently versus maybe what you'd like or what you don't like about that as you move forward, as you think about BC, and maybe gives you an opportunity to maybe revamp or rethink some of the things that you're doing in reporting today.
We got another question about, does BC work with adaptive? Didn't we get that question before, Bill? Adaptive?
I think maybe.
I think we did. And I don't have any familiarity with adaptive, so I don't want to answer that. You might need to check with your partner on that and have them validate for you. I don't want to mislead you and point you in the wrong direction, but I've never implemented that for GP or for BC. So I don't know. Well, I guess if there's not any other questions, I guess.
I think you mentioned you wanted to point out a couple of other sessions that are coming up, Annette.
Oh, that was right. We did. We were talking about the ability to. I know Belinda Allen has, for any of you that are interested in the Power BI, I know she has a session coming up on Wednesday. That it's dealing with using Power BI with GP, but a lot of those same techniques can be used with BC. So if you're interested in still using Power BI with GP, because that's obviously the one that you're probably on, I would highly suggest checking out Belinda's. Or there's another reporting extensions for BC. If you're interested in that, you can check that session out too, and what kind of extensions that you can actually add into BC. So I guess with that, unless there's any other questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
All right. Thanks, Annette. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. You guys have a great afternoon.